The first thing I want to talk about is, I'm going to talk about traffic, time, and talent. The first is traffic. Okay, so that's getting traffic into your business. Here's what's interesting about traffic. Okay, as I go through traffic, I want you thinking, how do you increase traffic in your business? Have you thought of some ways today of what you've heard so far that you could already increase traffic in your business? Is that fair to say? That most of us have heard some things that, okay. So here's what's cool about traffic. John talked about social media earlier. There are 5 billion people in the world actively using social media. 5 billion, over 60% of the planet actively uses social. There's been 150 million new users adopt social media in the last 12 months. Okay, and I think it'll be even more the next 12 months. And the average consumer spends 2 hours and 24 minutes per day scrolling social media. Okay, who's guilty of that every now and then, right? I've done it today, and I catch myself, I'm like, what am I doing, right? But 2 hours and 24 minutes a day of this is a long time, can we agree? Right? A lot of wasted time. Okay, here's what's interesting about traffic too is, here's our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has 44 million views. YouTube's paid me about $350,000 the last 9 years to post videos for monetization. We have 140,000 subscribers, but there's one main YouTube nugget that I paid a YouTube coach to learn about 4 years ago that accelerated my YouTube growth faster than anything else, okay? And I'm gonna give it to you, okay? So, he asked, when I hired this YouTube coach, his name was Evan Carmichael. He has multiple 7-figure plus subscriber counts on multiple different YouTube channels. And he said, what's the method for your titling of videos? I'm like, just whatever sounds good, you know, like it looks right? And this is normal, by the way. This is everyone that ever does videos, that's what they do. He said, here is the secret to growing on YouTube. Because he before I say that, he said, because the title is what gets someone to find the video. The thumbnail is what gets someone to click on the video. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, and this can be true. What I'm going to share can be true for just social media as well. The title, so like here's an example. There's a title that I found called, here is what it looked like. How to sell life insurance - amazing, all caps. This video was put out by a guy named Tristom. It was put out 9 years ago, and it has 1 million views. So if you were going to do a video on how to sell life insurance, should you make up a random freaking title that you don't know if it's going to work, or should you title your video like that?
Title it like that.
But most people don't do that because it seems too simple. Guess what? I titled my video the exact same way. I made sure the content was different inside of the video. Titled my video the exact same way. And then literally, that video has gotten hundreds of thousands of views over the last few years. So now, we never make up a title. We go, because what happens is if this video has 1 million views, does that mean a lot of people found it and clicked on it? Because it could be found, but if it doesn't have views, it didn't get clicks, right? Now, I don't know the watch duration and all those things. However, the market is already telling you what people want to hear, what people want to see, what people are responding to. Same thing with TikTok. Like, dude, if you're doing videos on TikTok about IULs, you shouldn't make up the script. You should find the top 100 IUL videos online that have had a ton of views that are real views and not from ads. And then you should shoot those 100 videos with the exact same script and upload them as your voice. Because the market has simply already told you what works. Now, are you going to be as good on camera and have the same personality as the random person that got 1 million views? Not initially, right? The market rewarded me for my video skill of 351 subscribers the first year, like I mentioned. What does that mean? That means that nobody found Cody. Nobody cared. I got dozens of views. My mom was watching like 7 times every day. It was incredible, okay? However, I didn't deserve it yet. Does that make sense? It's like dialing 30 times and expecting to make $1 million like most new agents do. You haven't earned the right yet. Same thing with this kind of stuff, okay? Now, that specific YouTube nugget is, even if you're, okay, so who's putting videos up on YouTube every now and then? Okay? You should go, let's just say you sell Medicare, whatever. You should go to YouTube. You should find all the top videos with the most views that also have a bunch of likes and comments. If it has like 1 million views and 12 likes, like it was probably boosted as an ad. But if it's got 1 million views and maybe 50,000 likes, about 5% by the way, okay, in likes, then guess what? That video specifically has done well, and I should reshoot that exact same video with my own content maybe, but the exact same title. Does that make sense? Okay, has anyone ever heard that before? Most people never share that, and it's the simplest trick in the world. And it has helped us grow our YouTube channel from very, very slow to now we're growing by thousands of subscribers every single month. And now our videos are the ones people are titling for theirs because I've got 3,600 videos on YouTube. Okay, does that make sense? Right? Okay. Also, when it comes to video, here's my video formula. Also, I'll do a little bit of engagement. If you have questions, raise your hand, but my goal is to give you as much in the 60 minutes we have together. Okay, I know I'm moving quick. I'm going to give a lot to you, but that's my goal. And then I'm going to give you more at the roadshow tomorrow. Here's my video formula. Hook, story, offer. Hook, story, offer. If you're scrolling on TikTok, how long do you give the video before you swipe to the next one? Okay, so let's just say video pops up now. How long is that? It's like a second, right? Or less. And it's only getting worse because of TikTok. So, should you start a video with, my first video ever, December 29th, 2015, I started out the video and I said, hey, my name's Cody Askins from the Cody Askins YouTube channel. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe below. I really, appreciate you watching the video. Here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 5 things to help every new insurance agent make money. And 14, 15 seconds in, I said nothing, right? Because my job, by the way, in our industry is to get people's attention and to keep it. It's to get it, but it's also to keep it, right? Most people are okay at getting it, but even more people are terrible at keeping it. Does that make sense? So for what we do and what you do, because eventually you're going to want to build a team and attract people and recruit. Well, guess what? All the things I'm sharing today, you can use to sell more customers, but you can also use it to recruit an insane amount of agents, right? And to help a ton of agents. And so most people are okay here. They're getting a little bit of attention. Does that make sense? Like who had seen, and again, thankful to our team, who had seen a Cody Askins, who had seen my face at some point since you started insurance? At some time, ever, right? The entire room, right? That's the goal. Now, some of you, who's consumed a little bit of our content? Who's consumed a lot of our content? Okay, who consumes our content every day? Less. You see that, right? That's my fault, by the way. It's not your fault. Because my job is to get you to see me every single day and for me to keep your attention every single day. Now, is that hard in the world we live in? Yes, because most people don't know this. The average human being sees around 8,000 ads per day. 8,000 a day, right? So when you think about that, mention all the ways that they could see ads. Billboards, commercials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Viore, like everywhere. Louis Vuitton, right? Everywhere. Is that fair? I'm walking down the street, just walking earlier, taking a walk and doing some phone calls. And dude, I saw State Farm across the street. I saw Allstate right here in the same complex. I'm like, man, dude, how many freaking insurance offices are there? I'm like, that's who we're competing against. Well, if the average human sees 8,000 ads a day in all these crazy ways, what should your goal be when you make an ad? Stand out, be different. Should it feel like an ad? Not if, because guess what? You don't even realize you're seeing 8,000 ads a day, logos, mail, whatever, right? Somebody's wrapping Tesla Cybertrucks, whatever it is, right? Like it's everywhere. We tune out the ad now because we've seen it so many times. Does that make sense? And so my job when it comes to our formula is to get someone's attention really quick. So like when we do events, the very first thing I say is insurance agents who live near Atlanta. Well, guess what? I'm more likely to keep their attention, would you agree? Because I'm speaking to my niche. Here's a cool tip. Okay, here's a cool tip. If you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. If you try to speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. What does that mean? That means you need to know who you're speaking to. So when you're recruiting, do you want to attract everyone? Like if you're 23, like Roy, how old are you? 25. Wouldn't it be weird if everyone on Roy's team was a 70-year-old grandma? Wouldn't that be a little strange? What's the average age of your team?
Probably 25.
And are they male or female? What percentage are male?
80%.
Okay, so what is that telling him? Like I had one lady come at our office. She's in our Power Player Mastermind for agencies, and she said she's 42. I told you I'd use the whiteboard a few times, did I not? She's 42. She makes 7 figures. She's a mom. She's married. And she told me, I only want to attract and recruit. She's on an exposure plan with us where she is on retainer with us so that we can get her publicity in the industry and exposure to our audience, right? So in this example, she said, I only want to attract young male athletes. Athletes, right? Athletes. Young male athletes. Well, first of all, you're married, but okay. Young male athletes, okay? Guess what her team is?
42-year-old married mom.
Yes! I said, okay. In front of the whole room, I said, give me your top 10 agents, agencies, whatever. The top 10 people in your organization that have done the best. Who are they? It was 90% women, and majority were in their 30s and 40s. Oh, and guess what? They were moms, and they were married. Why? Because that's who she is. That's who she speaks to. Now, can you still attract and help a lot of people? Yes, but guess why a Cody event is drastically younger than majority of the boring events in our industry? Or our conference? Because Cody's still 34. Right? Do I wish it was 25? Yes, I do. I could just take my brain now and Roy and I could start over together at 25. I would enjoy that, right? We could go sell a ton of books together for sure, okay? It's an inside joke. However, that's who she's attracting. Does that make sense? Right? Also too, you've got to, what you do, what you say, how you do it will attract certain types of people, right? It will. So a lot of people, when they come into this, they try to become someone different. You have to be authentically you. I think that's why our content has resonated and reached more people in the industry than anyone I know over the last 9.5 years. Well, number one, we put out more videos than anybody else. You normally win when that happens, by the way, even if they suck. However, then we have an amazing team to back it up that can help a bunch. Also, though, we have got to where we are known for giving, right? Like, we are known that Cody gives a ton of value for free. right? Like John didn't pay me to come here today, right? You didn't pay me to come here today. I mean, it helps that I'm going to be here tomorrow for my own event, but like, dude, I just love doing this. And hopefully your business grows because of a bunch of stuff John said and something small that Cody said, right? That's the goal. But guess what? I want to help the industry, but I'm still going to attract a lot of young men. In her example, young male athletes. I tend to attract a decent amount of athletes because I talk about playing basketball, right? So what does that tell you? It tells you that your job when you're connecting with people is to share things that are true about you. Stories of origin is what I call them. And that will attract people that resonate with your stories of origin. Are you following me? Okay, is this making sense? Or am I getting too complicated and too deep? Also, what most people don't know is 85% of people watch social media on mute. 85%. Anybody notice that? Where you watching social but the sound's off? And then if you like a video, you turn the sound up, or you think you're going to like a video? What does that tell you? It tells you that captions on videos, the actual words, are really important, or 85% have no idea what you're saying. So if you're uploading videos without captions, it's just a waste, right? Complete waste, because 85% of people watch videos on mute. Also, when we talk about traffic sources, I've dove way into traffic and marketing, and I'm about 30 minutes in, so who knows what all I get through today, but I'm really focused on this, which was technically the topic I was assigned to give, so maybe I'll give a little bit of the other stuff. But here's what's interesting, okay, is I want you to think about all the different traffic sources. So like my goal when we talk about, I want people to see me and I want to keep their attention, I want to get their attention, I want to keep their attention. My goal is to be omnipresent, okay, which is I'm everywhere all the time. That's a goal. Is it always true? No, but like that is the target. However, here's what I want you thinking about. When you think about your business as a funnel, what are all the ways that people learn about who you are? So like in my example, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, right? We've got YouTube, we've got TikTok, we've got LinkedIn, even though it sucks. We've got Twitter or X, right? We've got email, we've got ads, we've got events, we've got our sales team, we've got calls, we've got text, we've got retargeting, which I'll talk about in a second, right? We've got, I've done live shows over the years. I've done live videos a bunch. I built this, my video team built this contraption where I could do 4 or 5 phones at the exact same time and be live on all the platforms at the same time from different cell phones. That's a little complicated, but I was like, why not? If I'm gonna do 1 live, why not do 5, right? Maybe a little unique, but lives. There's also our podcast, right? You've got YouTube Shorts, but you also have YouTube long forms. We got 3,600 videos, right? Like we've got our 8% conference. We've got road shows, right? Like I'm here now. I'm at other people's events that are not mine, right? Like et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My goal is to have as many of these things as I possibly can. It's like fishing in the ocean with 1 line versus 60 lines, right? And 2, most people put 1 video up online and they think like it's gonna just go viral. I'm doing so much, and then and I'm like, it's like throwing a pebble in the ocean. Like it rippled, right? You saw it ripple, right? No. Like you threw a pebble in the ocean. It takes. What's one of John's favorite phrases? That's one of them. DBAB, GSD, and do more, right? Do more. Well, guess what? This seems overwhelming. I get it. Cody Askins has a full marketing team, multiple videographers, social media manager, web designer, graphic designer, tech person. I don't do any of those things. However, those things all get done. But it is the way that we drive in so much traffic. Like John was talking about leads earlier. Dude, if we get thousands of leads into our HubSpot every single month. HubSpot emailed me again recently and said, you are at capacity for contacts again. If you got to either turn a bunch of these into non-marketing contacts or we're going to bill you a bunch of extra money because you have hit the limit for your account. Dude, the limits happen like a dozen times the last 10 years, right? And I just keep having to pay them more money because I don't want less people to talk to. That don't make any sense, right? However, what are the traffic pieces and the traffic sources within your company of how you are attracting people to what you do, right? There's so many different ways to do that. And most people, if you're just selling every week and it's like, dude, I just bang direct mail and I write 60 grand a month. Great. But the way I think about it is, I want to scale something that doesn't rely on Cody Askins forever. That's what I want. And I think it's what a lot of people want without them actually admitting that. I didn't want to door knock forever. Did I love it? I don't think I loved it, but like, dude, I did it. That's what it took at the time, right? So I did it. Also, here's one of the things. There's a platform called AdRoll that has been killing it for us, that is phenomenal for retargeting people around the internet. And it allows you to retarget people outside of social media platforms or outside of websites that aren't owned by like Facebook and Google and Instagram. And so like Trump was doing a State of the Union, and right beside it was a CABOOM ad. For anybody that had been to our CABOOM site at all, ever, boom. I got people sending me pictures of them watching Trump on a State of the Union address on some news live site, and the CABOOM ad is literally sitting right there. So it's like this one's like news, weather, media, like stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to show up on, right? But the way retargeting works is you have a website. It's very simple, by the way. I don't like most people in marketing. How do I say this? Their goal is to confuse the crap out of you so you hire them to buy from you. So you hire them to buy from them, right? Does that make sense? So you give them money. That's not the way I teach because dude, I'm not smart enough to teach it that way anyway, okay? And whether we work together ever, I'm going to be okay, for the record, right? However, here's how retargeting works. Someone goes to your website, a user visits your website, you have a piece of code sitting on your website, and because they went to the website, you can now follow them around the internet with ads. That's it, right? It's super simple. We make it sound like crazy complicated, right? It's like the special, like everybody loves to talk about special, super sophisticated AI stuff nowadays just because it sounds sexy, right? When most of the stuff's not even AI anyway, if we're being honest. Like automations are not AI, but everybody thinks it is, okay? That is traffic sources, okay? Let me pause really quick. I know I've thrown a bunch at you guys. I have to write when I'm talking. I just can't help it.
Hey guys, just created something really cool, and if you want to be part of it, join the Discord group I just created. The link is going to be in here. It's a dope environment. You can chat with others that are kind of in the community. You can see behind the curtain of our agency, have access to all kinds of stuff that we got going on, events, and my staff is in there. We have agents in there selling, me helping agents and sharing information. We're going to, as we build this thing out, share everything out there with all of you guys. So again, follow the Discord if you want to be part of everything we got going on. Join it now. We'll see you in there. Hope to help you more.
Thoughts, questions, feedback, takeaways, something you're curious about?
Knowing that you have a YouTube channel and pour out a bunch of different content, do you organize it in different channels or you mainly use your channel and just put everything on there?
Everything goes on my channel. I rebranded an old secure agent marketing channel into CABOOM Leads, but really everything goes on Cody Askins. Yeah, we're building up the CABOOM brand a little bit too, so.
Podcasts and everything.
Yeah, podcasts, all that, yep. Podcast is called Power Player Podcast, and it's on the Cody Askins YouTube channel. But it's a playlist. So it's a video, and we organize it by playlist, yeah. Yep, good question.
Certain length of video you should target, or just
What have you got to say?
Yeah, so short form, ideally like 15 to 60 seconds. And then a lot of videos, by the way, nowadays are like 7 to 15 seconds, I've noticed. A ton of content. Long form, we try to hit at least 7-8 minutes for like long form YouTube videos. Because YouTube, their goal is, and this is every social media platform's goal, their goal is to keep you on the platform. So for YouTube, they want watch time. Because if you're watching stuff, they can show you ads, which means they need you to stay in the platform and keep watching content. So if you've got a video that's getting good watch time, YouTube's gonna promote it harder because people are watching it and they can show ads. YouTube's gonna